In this lecture, you are going to learn about the bullfight. There are two concepts which are very important. One is bullfight and other is bear fight. It is going to help you for taking proper entry point for placing your trade for short or for long. Now we are going to look one by one. First of all, we are going to look for bullfight, and in the next lecture we are going to look for the bear fight. Understand what is bullfight and bear fight properly, because this is going to help you a lot for placing your entries. So now on this worksheet we are going to look for what is exactly bullfight. So what we are going to first of all see, we are plotting the line, and this line is called as a breakout line. Right now it's not working as a support or resistance. We are not going to consider it as a support or resistance, or it is having any breakout from support or resistance. Right now we are just plotting a line, and for this line we are considering that it is a breakout line. So this line can be any line, the breakout from any chart pattern or breakout from any support or from any resistance. So right now we are considering this single line as a breakout line. So I'll write it down here, breakout line. This line is also going to help you while trading with the help of Gann levels. So right now this is the breakout line. So what is going to happen is that there will be the entry of buyers from here. Okay, so there will be the entry of buyers, and we are going to have small rejection from top and small rejection from bottom. So what is happening here at this candlestick, as you know, you have learned in the previous lecture also that we are following only 3 candlestick for entry. One is this, another is like this, and another is like this or like this. So in this bullfight and bear fight, I am going to provide you the information where you should exactly place your entries and how you have to analyze the candlestick properly. If you are not having the knowledge of candlestick patterns also, that's okay. With this concept you are going to get proper entries, and you are going to have the analysis that where exactly you should place your trade. So see here, this is the bullish candlestick, and for this bullish candlestick we are having short rejection from top and short rejection from bottom. Now the short rejection from top is called as presence of sellers, and short rejection from bottom is called as presence of buyers. So here we are not considering it as upper wick and lower wick. What we are considering it as presence of sellers and presence of buyers. Remember, in an ordinary candle, this is an ordinary candle, and if we are having any wick at top or at bottom, whether it's bullish or bearish, irrespective of candle, if we are having the top wick, it is having the presence of sellers, and if we are having the bottom wick, it is having the presence of buyer. Lots of students are getting confused in this part only, which is very simple. So note this point in your notebook, that in an ordinary wick, irrespective of bullish candlestick or bearish candlestick, the upper wick represents the presence of sellers, lower wick represents presence of buyers, irrespective of candlestick. It can be the bearish candlestick or it can be the bullish candlestick. The upper side, or we can say upper wick, is having the presence of sellers, and lower wick is having presence of buyers. So here you can clearly see, at upper wick we are having presence of sellers, and at lower wick we are having presence of buyers. But at this candlestick, if we are going to have the proper analysis, then we can see from here to here we are only having the presence of buyers. From here to here we are only having the presence of buyer, and this much portion which is remained, which is called as the upper wick, is only having the sellers. Now you only tell me which is strong, whether buyers is strong or sellers is strong, bull is strong or bear is strong. On this candlestick the bull is strong. So we are having the clear analysis. Now here, after the breakout line, immediately you are not going to place your trade. If you are aggressive trader, you can immediately place your trade. But if you want to trade safely, and if you want to have the proper entry and proper confirmation, then you have to wait for second candlestick. and second candlestick should form like this. Check it out. So it should be also the bullish candlestick only if we want to place our trade for long. So see here, the next candlestick is also the bullish candlestick. So what you are going to do here also, if we are having the wick, it's okay. Not having, if we are having like this wick, then also okay. If we are having like this wick, then also okay. But what is not okay, when we are having like this candlestick. Now at this candlestick, what is happening? At this candlestick, from here to here there is presence of buyers, and from here to here there is presence of sellers. Now tell me why at the upper wick there is presence of sellers? It's because here you can see, I have previously explained you that ordinary candlestick, irrespective of bullish or bearish, the upper wick represents the presence of sellers and lower wick represents the presence of buyers. Here we are not having any lower wick. Here you can see we are having the upper wick. At this upper wick we are going to call it as the presence of sellers. So this candlestick represents that there is a strong presence of seller. It does not represent that there is a presence of buyers. That's why this concept is very important for understanding where exactly we should place the trade. After this candlestick, like this candlestick is going to form, we are not going to place our trade. When we are going to place our trade? After like this candlestick formation. Only after like this candlestick formation where there is a strong presence of buyers. And remember this point. Remember this point. This candlestick high and body, okay, this candlestick high and body closing should be above this candlestick wick. Getting my point? I will note it down, this point. Yes. So what I am trying to say here, or what I am trying to explain you here, is that if you are an aggressive trader, you can immediately place your trade here. But if you want to place your trade safely, then for that you have to wait for the proper confirmation. And the confirmation is that you have to wait for the second candlestick closing, and closing should be above the previous candlestick high. So at this candlestick closing is here. Opening was here, closing is here. This is the high, this is the low. So at this candlestick, which is the bullish candlestick, the closing should be above the previous candlestick high. Now if you are going to have the closing of the second candlestick above the previous candlestick high, with that we are also going to have the high above the previous candlestick high. So it's a logical. Okay, so always remember, this is very important point. If you have to place a trade with the help of Gann levels, you need to have proper entry only after the two candlestick is formed properly according to our bullfight conditions only. I will repeat, the second candlestick body should close above the previous candlestick high. That's it. So this is the type 1, what you have learned here right now. This is type 1. Type 1. Now we are going to look for type 2. Now we are going to look for the type 2. So here I am plotting one line. This is not an ordinary line, it is a breakout line, what we have seen in the type 1. So this is the breakout line. So at this breakout line, what we need exactly is the bullish candlestick. Okay, so like this bullish candlestick is forming and having the strong wick from the bottom. This wick should be longer than the body. More the wick than the body, more stronger the market is going to bounce up. So remember this point, if candlestick is having 3 times the wick of the body, the market is going to bounce that much. Why? Because the lower wick represents the presence of buyers and the body is also represented by the presence of buyers. That's why it is going to represent the strong presence of buyer. In another case, what is going to happen if you are going to have the bearish candlestick? and here we are having the wick at the bottom. Then here at this point we have to wait for the next bullish candlestick. You should not immediately place your trade. You have to wait for the next strong bullish candlestick, and the same point what you have to remember, the high of this candlestick, or we can say the body, should close above the previous candlestick high. So previous candlestick high was here and this candlestick body has closed here as well as high is here. So have you got these two condition? This is type 2 of bullfight. Now why we are calling this as bullfight, or why we are calling the next lecture as a bear fight? Because here what is happening is that it is representing the strong presence of bulls, not the bears. So here you can clearly see it represents the strong presence of bulls. Here we are having the strong presence of bulls, which represents that here we can place our entry, and now market is having the strong pressure from bulls. Whenever we are going to enter with this type 1 and type 2, we need to have the proper analysis of strong presence of bulls when we are going to place our trade for long. Bullfight is providing the analysis to take our entries for long trades. So here it's clear, you are going to immediately place your trade. Here it's clear, here you are going to place your trade, and in type 1 it's clear that here you are going to place your trade. So here you can clearly see the fight has already won by the bulls. Here you can clearly see the fight has already won by the bulls. Here you can clearly see that the bulls have won the fight. From here to here there is a presence of buyers, from here to here there is a presence of sellers. But whenever we are making our entry position, that time we need high presence of bulls only. So remember, here you have to place your trade. I am going to provide you this information on the live chart also, so that you can have the analysis that how it is going to help you for placing your entries and for placing your stop loss. Now in the next lecture we are going to look for the bear fight.